The boat smells like diesel, sweat, and mold. It always smells like that. After 3 days submerged, you stop noticing. After 7 days, you can't remember what air is supposed to smell like. You are 22 years old. You are a torpedo mechanic aboard U-572, a Type 7 U-boat, 220 feet long, 20 feet wide at the beam. 47 men share this space. There are 12 bunks for 47 men. You sleep in shifts. Sometimes you sleep in the torpedo room beside the weapons you maintain. The torpedoes are cleaner than the bunks. You have been at sea for 11 days. You have 19 more to go. That is the plan. Plans in the North Atlantic in 1943 are optimistic documents written by men sitting in offices in Lorient. You volunteered for this. That is the thing nobody back home understands. Nobody conscripted you into the U-boat arm. You raised your hand. You were 19, and you had seen the newsreels and read the papers, and you believed what they told you about wolves of the sea, and iron coffins said with pride, and Donitz's boys coming home with tonnage flags flying. You believed it. You were 19. You get to be stupid at 19. By 1943, you are not stupid anymore. Here is what the newsreels didn't show you. In 1939, U-boat crews had a 97% survival rate per patrol. In 1940, it was still good. In 1941, the Allies started getting better. In 1942, the math began shifting in ways that should have frightened everyone in naval high command. By 1943, the year of your last patrol, the survival rate per mission has collapsed. Of every 100 men who serve in U-boats during the entire war, 75 will not survive it. Donitz knows this number. He sends you anyway. He calls you his U-boat men, his finest sailors. He also keeps a ledger. In that ledger, you are tonnage potential. You are a delivery mechanism for 2 torpedoes and a deck gun. You are not a man with a photograph in his breast pocket and a mother in Hamburg who lights a candle every Sunday. The photograph is of Elsa. You've been engaged since March 1942. The wedding was postponed once already. Day 14. The hydrophone operator, a quiet Bavarian named Ritter, raises one hand. Contact. Propeller sounds. Multiple vessels. You feel the shift in the boat immediately, the way the air changes when 47 men all stop breathing at once. The commander, Captain Lieutenant Werner, 28 years old, 3 patrols, 1 Knight's Cross, moves to the periscope without a word. He doesn't need to say anything. You move to the torpedo room. This is your job. This is the moment everything before it was preparation for. The convoy is large. Ritter counts the propeller signatures, 12 merchants, 4 escorts. The escorts are the problem. They always are now. In 1940, convoys had 1 escort if they were lucky. In 1943, every convoy crossing the Atlantic has destroyers, frigates, and increasingly aircraft that appear from nowhere and drop things that sink you before you hear the engine. Werner marks his approach. You flood the forward tubes. The water hisses in. The pressure equalizes. You watch the gauges. You have done this 9 times before. Twice the torpedoes hit. 3 times they missed. Once the weapon ran circular and nearly came back at you. The other 3 times, something happened that you don't think about because thinking about it doesn't help anything. At 0340, Werner gives the order. 2 torpedoes 6 seconds apart. You feel the boat shudder as they leave the tubes. The sudden loss of weight at the bow. The compressed air release that sounds like a hammer strike. Then silence. You count. Everyone counts. There is nothing else to do. 17 seconds. Then the sound reaches you through the hull. 2 detonations. Rolling. Massive. Someone in the control room says something. You don't hear the words. You hear the tone. It worked. Werner orders periscope depth for 30 seconds. He looks. He says one word. Brennend. Burning. Then he orders crash dive. You are at 80 meters in 4 minutes. The boat groans around you. A Type 7C is rated to 230 meters. The men who made that rating used math and engineering models. The ocean doesn't care about engineering models. At 150 meters, things start to leak. At 200 meters, things start to fail. The rated depth and the actual depth the hull will tolerate before it implodes are 2 different numbers, and nobody publishes the second one. The first depth charge hits at 0412. You have been waiting for it for 32 minutes. The waiting is worse than the impact. The impact is a sound you feel in your teeth, in your spine, in the fillings of your back molars. The lights go out. Emergency lighting comes on. Red. Everything is red. A pipe joint above the forward head begins weeping water, not a stream, a weep, for now. A seaman named Becker grabs it with both hands and holds it. He will hold it for 4 hours. His hands will be numb. He will not let go. The second depth charge is closer. The compass repeater shatters. A man in the engine room cuts his forehead on something and bleeds quietly onto his instrument panel and keeps working because there is nothing else to do. The third charge lifts the stern. For 2 seconds, you are tilted at 30 degrees, and everything that isn't bolted down becomes a projectile. A coffee tin hits Ritter in the side of the head. He stays at his hydrophone. He tells Werner the escorts are circling, 2 of them, holding contact. Werner takes the boat to 160 meters. The hull speaks. Metal sounds that have no name in any language because no language was built to describe what a pressure hull sounds like when the ocean is trying to get inside it. You sit beside your torpedoes. You have reloaded the forward tubes. If somehow Werner gets a shot, you will be ready. You know he won't get a shot. The escorts are directly above you. You are not hunting anymore. You are the one being hunted, and you have been the one being hunted for 6 hours, and the oxygen in the boat is thinning, and 47 men are breathing it down to nothing. By 1100, the air is bad enough that the candles the officers use to test oxygen levels burn with a flat yellow flame instead of a point. When the flame goes out entirely, you have maybe 2 hours before men start losing consciousness. Werner orders Calipatron distributed, potassium cartridges that scrub carbon dioxide from the air. Chemical breathing. It tastes like chalk and desperation. It buys you time. Not much, just time. Ritter reports the escorts moving off at 1340. Werner waits another hour, then another 30 minutes. Then he surfaces the boat into the North Atlantic afternoon, and 47 men breathe real air in shifts because the hatch is too small for all of them at once. You look at the sky. It is gray and enormous, and the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. You find out 3 weeks later, back in Lorient, that U-634 and U-438 were lost that same day in the same convoy action. 94 men, no survivors from either boat. The escorts that held contact on you broke off because they had something easier. You survived because someone else didn't. That is the arithmetic of the North Atlantic in 1943. It is not skill. It is not training. It is sequence. You were third on their list, and they ran out of time. Dönitz sends a signal to all U-boat commanders that week. The tone is resolute. The language is about sacrifice and duty, and the tonnage war. He does not mention U-634. He does not mention U-438. He mentions tonnage sunk. The ledger is updated. New boats are being commissioned. New crews are being trained. Boys who are 19 right now and watching newsreels and reading papers and believing things. You are assigned to U-572's next patrol 3 weeks later. You don't refuse. Refusal is not a mechanism the Kriegsmarine built into its system. You pack your kit. You put Elsa's photograph in your breast pocket. You walk down the dock at Lorient, past the brass band and the officers and the small crowd that turns out because Dönitz believes ceremony matters. You board the boat. The hatch closes. The smell hits you immediately. Diesel, sweat, mold. You stop noticing within 3 days. This is what you know how to do. This is the only thing you know how to do now. The ocean closes over the conning tower. The light fades to green, then black. 47 men, 12 bunks. 1 boat built to find and kill and survive. 2 of those 3 things will happen on this patrol.